It's Dr. Fred, and we are going to go through the pain game series again. We have a new addition to pain game. Hey, let's stop the pain game. Let's help people get rid of their excuses and find reasons why they're going to live a chiropractic lifestyle. How cool is that? So what's the topic of today? Is the purpose of your practice, your whole life purpose, is it really math? Does it just come down to math? Hey, the fulfillment of your purpose can be measured. So how do we measure it? Well, first of all, the purpose of chiropractic is lifestyle. That's it. Lifestyle is a mindset because chiropractic is a way of life. So now the question is, are you getting 80 to 90% of all your patients, that's all of them, to move into lifestyle? Now you could say 80 to 90%, that's not even possible. Well, actually it is possible. The question is, are you doing it? And hey, what I'm talking about is not, hey, let's put them on a 4-week program or a 6-week program and then put them in the lifestyle. I mean, anybody can do that. You can get rid of their pain and put them in the lifestyle and put them on maintenance. That's not what I'm talking about. Hey, Elite is about full correction, man. It's rehab based, right? That's first phase of correction, 36 visits. I mean, then you're talking 72 visits and then moving into lifestyle. So whatever your corrective program is, I'm sure it's at least 24 visits, at least 48 visits, maybe 60, 70 or more. So is your purpose, when you're giving an ROF, is your long-term purpose for that patient to get them into lifestyle? Is it just to start them, or is it to get them into lifestyle? Because those are two different reported findings. So the goal is 80 to 90%. So how do you know? There's one statistic that's an accurate measurement of whether or not you're fulfilling your purpose. And what is that? That's your PBA. What's a PBA? It's your patient visit average. What's that? That's the office visits per week divided by the new patients per week. So we'll just throw these numbers out. If you have 200 people a week and you office visits and you have 5 new patients a week, you have a 40 PBA. That means the average person comes for 40 visits. What's that mean? Hey, we get some people quit at 2 visits, some are coming for 80. Some quit at 3, some come for 100. So, but the average patient, now we're talking 80 to 90% or more into lifestyle. Your PBA measures that. Now here's the thing, every patient counts because that's the power of your day one. If they fill out the paperwork, they count. Hey, if they fill out the paperwork, they don't come back for day 2. That's because of your day one. So every person has to count because that's how we know if we're fulfilling your purpose. And this is a math equation. So math gives you an objective evaluation of how you're fulfilling your purpose, right? It's also the hardest math equation to look at objectively. Why? Because we want people to be in lifestyle. That's the way we live. We want them to live. That's our purpose. That's why we're here in this body. Hey, here's the deal. You were born a chiropractor. Fulfilling your purpose is a choice. Okay, you came in. However you found chiropractic doesn't really matter. You were born a chiropractor. Fulfilling your purpose is a choice. So when we look at these numbers, man, sometimes it's hard to look at, right? Because why? That PBA really reflects the effectiveness of our purpose. So we got to say 40 PBA. Well, people are going through one phase of correction and quitting. Now everybody's going to say, well, I have a bunch of people that have been with me for years. Okay. So if you have the average patient for 5 years and they've been with me 5 years and 6 years. Okay. So let's look at the amount of new patients you've had since that patient came in 5 years ago. How many of those are still with you? And then all of a sudden, what do? We bow our head, right? Because if that's 10%, you're still above the majority of people. Really, that's single digits. Okay, so this is I get it, man. I've had to look at this too and reflect and see, what am I doing different? What do I need to do different? So, but the thing is, hey, if we're here to fulfill that purpose, let's give a humble and honest view of that number. So here's your patient visit average. It reflects the average patient, which is really the majority of patients. So that's the average patient. Now, I get it. You have people that have been coming to you for years. It's not every patient because some leave at 2 and some move into lifetime. But what's the average? The average is going to be 8 out of 10. What's 8? Because, hey, 2 out of 10 stay for lifetime, and that's if you're lucky. 2 out of 10 leave on day 2. So I get it. So where's the bulk? Where's the 8 out of 10? Okay, so this is a reflection of how your patients are perceiving your message. They're perceiving your message. It's not your intention, because we know your intention is lifestyle. We already know that. But this is how they're perceiving what you're communicating. That's it. Okay, so if you have less than a 30 PBA, what's that mean? Hey, you have a 25 or a 20 or a 15, or it can go up to 29 or 30. What's that mean? You have a pain-based practice. What's that mean? Hey, people are leaving when their insurance is done. Hey, they say they want to be committed, and then we're out of the pain, they're leaving. Some are leaving at 3, some are leaving at 30, some are leaving at 60. So if you have a 30 PBA, are there some people that appear like they're going into lifetime? Yeah, but what percentage? You got a 30 PBA, maybe 1 out of 10. Is that your purpose? 1 out of 10 in the lifestyle. So basically, the average patient is pain-based. Patients are quitting before their first phase of correction, because if you're into correction, then we're taking x-rays at 36 visits. So the average patient is leaving before their first re-x-ray. Why are they leaving? Because you're talking too much about pain, or you're focused on mechanics, and people don't care. Hey, I had 4 coaches, man, all of them. Give them what they want, tell them what they need. And then I had a 40 PBA, but I had this big purpose, just like you want lifetime. And then all of a sudden I realized they don't know, they can't give me the answers. So I started studying human behavior. Hey, it shows human behavior in relationship to pain is only short-term change. Okay? If you're a total spine geek and you're focused on fixing the spine. See this, if you have a 30 PBA or less, you're talking too much about symptoms, and all you're talking about is mechanics, right? And what are you doing? You think you're giving them what they want, and that's your strategy and communication. Give them what they want, tell them what they need. But the problem is they're getting wired for pain, and then you're trying to rewire them. That's why your PBA is the way it is. So let's say you have a 40 PBA, and this was me for the first 11 years of 15 years. That's 1 corrective care phase. That means they're going up to the re-x-ray, and then they're basically quitting. Okay, now some are quitting at 2, and again, some are going from full correction into lifetime, but lifetime is going to be rare. Maybe 2 out of 10. Is you go 2 out of 10, or is it 8 to 9 out of 10? Which one would you like? Doesn't mean you have to know how to get 8 out of 9 and 10, because we know how, and I'm going to show you this at the end. Okay, so what are they doing? They're quitting after the re-x-ray. Why are they doing that? Because you're focused on correction. You're still talking about mechanics. You may be talking about pain, but they're not focused on lifestyle. You're focused on the biomechanics. You're focused on the correction. They get a good portion of correction, and then they quit. Why? Because they feel better. Now life is, I have all these other obstacles in life. Doc, I'm busy. We made these changes, and there's not sustenance in correction. Again, a bunch are going to 80 visits. Some are quitting at 2, but the average patient, that's why your PBA is 40. So what are you having to do at 40? Same thing I had to do, market, because every 3 months, your practice is turning over. There's probably 20% of your practice that stays the same, and 80% is turning over every 3 months. Okay, why? Because they bought a product or service. Why? Because you told them, you have this problem, and here's a solution. But what they didn't buy was health for life. What did they buy? Correction. You're talking too much about mechanics. And you're giving them what they want, and you're teaching them what they need. Now, if you're really confident, you have tons of clinical confidence. The problem with giving what they want, teach them what they need, is it tends to be personality dependent. If you got a boatload of certainty, you have great eye contact, you have great posture when you're talking to them, you know, then that strategy can work. But the question is, does it work for everyone? No, it doesn't. And we're looking at 8 to 9 out of 10 in the lifestyle. And when you look at human behavior, telling people, just telling them what to do, giving them what they want, telling them what they need, and then, there's coaches that say, just tell them what to do. Well, that's someone that has boatloads of confidence. That's someone whose conviction is through the roof. That's someone that creates so much certainty. They have so much certainty in themselves that they transfer that certainty to others. Now that's awesome, but not everybody can do that. So it's a bit personality dependent. Now, if you just teach people with weaker confidence to just tell them what they do, is their close rate, is the amount of patient commitment going to go up? Yeah, no question. But then you're going to run into those people that just don't care. And we're talking 8 out of 9 into lifetime. And that's just not how human behavior, certain personality types, and certain emotional types don't care what you say. So when you study human behavior, man, they've had tons of people tell them what to do and they didn't get results. So there's certain personalities that's just not going to work on, and that will affect your PBA and your purpose. Let's look at a 60 to 90 PBA. Okay, that's full correction into lifestyle. So lifestyle begins at 60. Why? Because some leave at 2, and another is coming for 120. But the average person comes into lifestyle. So depending on your phase of correction, 60 begins lifestyle. Then it moves into 80, and then it moves into 100 plus PBA. Man, 80, some quit at 2, some are going for 160. 100, quit at 2, they're going in for 200. So you got a whole boatload of people into lifestyle. This is the range. You want to be minimum 60 if everybody counts, and then 90. Now, when I had only 4 years of human behavior, I had a 70 PBA. What's that mean? That means, and what happened was 3 out of 10, this was before I learned all the things about human behavior and communication that I do now. I would accept 7 out of 10, 3 out of 10 I would turn away because they were pain-based and I didn't take them at that time. So they were either out in the first week, they were either out in 2, or they were in for 140. So 3, I didn't take the ones that were out in 2. That means 7 out of 10 were in for 140 visits. Okay, so what did that give me? A 70 PBA. Why? Because everyone counts. So when you're looking at a 90 PBA, 100 PBA or more, and we see these in elite, then, man, you got a whole boatload into lifestyle, because if they fill out the paperwork, man, they count, because that's the effectiveness of your day one. Now, the question is, if you have a high PBA, and here's what I run into, a bunch of satisfied patients where the doctor, man, he's just awesome, conviction, they trust you, you're loyal, you're sincere. People come for a long time, but they don't refer. Why? Because they're satisfied. They're not contributing. The goal is not only to get 8 to 9 out of 10 in the lifestyle, but to get minimally 8 out of 10 into contribution. Now, that's a whole nother emotional pattern. Now you have lifestyle patients that 8 out of 10 are referring for how long? For years. That's the way it should be. Now, here's other math equations that determine how you're fulfilling your purpose. Check this out. Here's why your purpose is related to math. What's your percent commitment to care? Guess what it is across the profession? 20 to 50%. 2 to 5 out of 10 committing to care, right? What's that mean? 5 to 8 out of 10 are walking out the door in the first week. Now, I'm sure you're much better than that, but at least that's the power of your day one. What's your percent re-sign into the second phase of care? Now, this is really going to affect your PBA, because technically, according to the principle, if you want 8 out of 9 to go into lifestyle, that means you should be able to support your clinic overhead and your personal lifestyle with re-signs and lifetime patients. That's it, man. With re-signs and lifetime patients. There you go. So what's your percent into second phase of correction? Now, that is also going to determine your effectiveness as a spinal corrective doctor. Now, what's your percent in the lifestyle? Okay, so if you can get in elite, we see people that go through our boot camps and the coaching, they get 8 out of 10 into full correction, and then they get 8 out of 10 of those into lifestyle. Now, people that do every part of the system, they're in the 86%-ish, 86%. commitment to full corrective care, and then the 92 to 96% of those into lifestyle. Man, now, shoot, you can live off your re-signs. Commitment to care prepays up front, that's gravy. All of these numbers, all of the upper three numbers, determine the fourth number. What's that? Your PBA. That's it. Look at all those right there. Those determine your PBA. Your purpose is being reflected in math. So guess what? You're in the math business. Did you realize that? You're in the math business, man. When your communication gets to the level that you can get those percentages, then your math is freaking amazing. You like doing that math instead of looking at the math humbly and honestly and going, shoot, we need to make a difference, right? The math is determining your purpose. Remember, you're born into chiropractic. This is your life purpose. Math is determining your success, and that's a choice. So you may be asking yourself, how do you achieve the best math? How do you fulfill your purpose on a higher level? How do you create 8 to 10, right, patients in the lifestyle? Are you asking those questions? Well, it's a science of human behavior, right? That's it. So this is what is the science of human behavior, knowing how people make life-changing decisions. Hey, how does Tony Robbins get 15,000 people across 2,000-degree colds? We all have that power in us, and I've done it twice, right? How do you create lifestyle raving fans that continue to refer, that are dedicated, that are loyal? 8 or 9 out of 10, right? Now it's also, how do you do that? It's knowing how to clear limiting beliefs that stop people from committing and quitting. This is why they walk out on day 2, and this is why they quit. They have limiting beliefs that you don't even know about. They're telling them to you all the time. But if you don't know how to identify them and you don't know how to clear them, it's going to prevent them from committing. And it's certainly, if they commit, going to prevent them from quitting. So what are limiting beliefs? I can't afford it. I don't have time. We don't use credit cards. I got to think about it 24 hours. What's my insurance cover? Are you tired of listening to all that stuff, man? So knowing how to have people, this is every person, get anything they want, whenever they want, when they want it bad enough. That's the science of human behavior. Now, when I figured that out, because I had 4 coaches, right? And none of them could answer these questions. So I went outside of chiropractic, started studying the science of human behavior, been 21 years. Hey, at some point, I'm like, man, I got to bring this out. So what did I start doing in the beginning? Hey, I started coaching my friends for free. I watched their practices explode. I created elite coaching. I watched their practices explode. Created the boot camps. Watched their practices explode. Now it's been like 12 years of boot camps, man. And you just see it over and over and over and over. Associates, commitment to care, lifetime, explode. Doctors change their practice. All of a sudden, man, they're fulfilling their purpose. 8 or 9 out of 10 are going into lifestyle. And man, you're just at ease. And now it's just even more fun than it's ever been. Hey, we've had, who's coming to mind right now? There's our lifestyle coaches, Chris and Lauren Macasio and Chris DiCarlo. Hey, they took 3 years to get into elite. And then in the first year, they went through the whole coaching program. They increased their collections, 250,000 in a year and a half. It was about a year and a half. They created 300 lifetime patients. Now they have over 400 lifetime patients. So 400 people coming in every month. Some are coming multiple. Some are once a week. Some are twice a month. Some are once a month. Now they can live on their lifetime. They live on their re-signs. 86% into full corrective care. Okay, they charge $3,600 for 40 visits, so $7,200, and 92% of those 86% go into lifetime care. How about that? We have other doctors. Hunter Cameron Weishar, 130 PBA. Hey, had a couple personal tragedies in his life in the last couple of years. Very hard. Was always in our prayers. Very challenging to even go to the office. 130 PBA, never wavered. Why? Because he knows the science of human behavior. I can go on and on and on and on with examples and testimonies of this. Science of human behavior. Man, you want to help people live their life differently? Then learn the science of human behavior. Look at that PBA. How well do you know the science of human behavior? If you're under 60, would you want to be 70, 80? If you're 40 or 30 or even 50, would you like to be 80, 90, 100? 8 to 9 out of 10 going into lifestyle. Every person can make a life-changing decision right now. If you know how to identify those limiting beliefs, clear them, and tap into that power that we all have inside us. And if you're not doing it, there's only one reason. You haven't been trained. That's it. You haven't been trained. But there is training. So we have a self-empowerment leadership training. Now what happens? If you don't have that training, you're trying to help people change their life in a few minutes, like metaphorical minutes, right? At day one, without training. You're trying to help people change all these subconscious beliefs with conscious information. You're trying to change a subconscious behavioral pattern that's wired in their subconscious mind by telling them information. At some point, is that 8 or 9 out of 10 in lifestyle? Well, that's why your PBA is the way it is, right? You want to change that, you got to change subconscious patterns. It's not that hard. It's how to use information to change limiting beliefs. And it's not just through the principle. How do I know? Have you ever seen it? You tell people the principle over and over and you're passionate and you got your megaphone, you're screaming the principle, and some people just don't care. Why? Because there's a cloud that you're talking through. There's an emotional cloud. Got to know how to pierce that cloud like a laser, split that cloud like Moses parting the Red Sea, get right in there, clear their mind, boom, they're right in. And they're in for lifetime. So what else? How else do you know you need a self-empowerment leadership training? Because your math doesn't match your purpose. Your purpose may be 8 out of 9. That's your desire, and that's your purpose. The question is, does your math match? And if your math doesn't match, if you're under 80 and you want to be 80 or more, get training. It exists. It's out there. So you want to take your purpose to a new level? You want to fulfill your purpose with most lifestyle patients? Then learn the skills and tools to communicate and empower people to live their life differently with a true optimal mind, optimal spine, optimal life. That's what it is. Where's their greatest subluxation? Hey, we can fix theories. Where's the greatest one? In their mind. Get rid of this one, optimal mind. You can take care of this one. Give them an optimal spine. Then where they live, an optimal life. Isn't that the principle of chiropractic? This is the model in today's world. That's it. We have the information that we didn't have 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It's all there today. So, hey, if you want to add at least 20 visits to your PBA in 90 months, go to Elite Coaching, elitecoachingllc.com, start the process, fill out the questionnaire. We'll give you a call. Hey, we'll see what your purpose is. We'll see if it's a match. Also, get the Back to Health book that has medical research. It talks about how we're in this flexion distorted world and how postural problems are causing stress on the core, leading to autoimmune, chronic pain, disability, and early death. Man, this is a massive, massive resource to create lifestyle patients. Hey, for you buy them in bulk, $10. Be the best $10 to create lifestyle patients. You don't have to talk to them. You go, here, read this book, give it to every new patient, leave it in the clinic for your patients. Tell them I'm going to ask you questions on it in a week. So get back to health. Go to elitecoachingllc.com, hit start the process, fill out the survey, and I'll personally give you a call. Hey, if nothing else, we can create a great relationship. I promise I'll give you tips that can change your practice regardless of what you do. And most importantly, we can have a relationship. Let's end the pain game, gang. If we can get 8 out of 9 in the lifestyle, we can create new types of patients out in the general public that can change the impression of chiropractic in the general public forever, and we can see it in our lifetime. All right, gang. Hey, love you guys. We'll see you soon. Keep on these series because they're going to give you great tools. All right, peace.